Hey guys, Merry Christmas. Hope you are all well. Wanted to take just a second to acknowledge the holidays. I'm pretty stoked. It's pretty exciting. On top of that, if you're listening to this episode on Monday, December the 18th, it's my dad's 70th birthday, so that's another thing to be thankful. Not everybody gets to have their dad around for 70 years. Good Lord. But, just reflecting on the holidays and everything, I kind of like how the holidays are connected by every year. And I know that sounds like a really weird observation, but if you think about it, think about every Christmas is a year after the Christmas before that. And Christmas is such an epic time of year for many of us that those memories just kind of stand out. And so every year I'm reminded by family times when I was a child, family times when I was a teen, and just the different emotions that come along with Christmas. And now as a grown-ass man, I get to kind of just, chill and watch the excitement and be excited about my kids being excited, and just, I don't know, it's a great time of year. But I also want to acknowledge that for a lot of people, this is not a great time of year. And I think that is something that we would all benefit from, is just remembering that there are people in which the holidays bring a lot of pain to them, given that they have lost someone this year or someone, in the past few years. Our hearts are with you, and we're sorry for your loss. And just thoughts and prayers for you. Now, I want to take a second to thank the folks that make PWNA happen. We have a Patreon page that you could actually access if you want to give me a Christmas present of $1, or if you want to join the Patreon. Honestly, it's awesome. Here's what the most reoccurring comment is of our Patreon members, is they basically say, don't care about the perks, just want to support this podcast. That means a lot. I appreciate it. But I also want to encourage all of you, if there's a podcast that you listen to all of the time, and I'm not assuming this is one of them, throw a little bit of money at it if you can. If you're not able to, that host of the show or the creators of that podcast, they are happy to have your listenership. But it really does mean something to support free entertainment in order to help that show progress and move beyond the season in which it is currently in. So I want to thank these people. Special thanks to Michael Wilson, who is our top contributor. Appreciate it, man. Merry Christmas. And then we have these wonderful folks: Andy Kraft, Tabitha Wells, Ben Gary, Chris Abbott, Chad Hilson, Tyler Jasper, Joshua Quay, Mike Anderson, Andre Pollar, Nicholas Hudak, Dean Atkinson, Michael E. Burton, Austin D. Hill, Phil Avance, Silas George, Alicia Sell, Kevin Ming, Raya Dickerson, Paul Wheeler, and Camden Perez. Thank y'all. Merry Christmas. And here's a show about organic foods and the hype behind it, the expenses behind it, and is it worth it? As we approach the holidays, food is something that we all look forward to. So, how important is it to eat organic? We stop in once again with my friend Michael Overcash. You guys, Merry Christmas. All right, I'm here with my friend Michael Overcash, and man, I'm really excited about this conversation just because we had a discussion at your house sitting at the table, and I lamented on how I didn't like vegetables and how I'm a 40-year-old man and I need to eat healthier and all that stuff. But anyway, one thing led to another, and we started talking about the whole clean eating craze and organic food and all that stuff. And you are, I mean, here's your credentials of being on the show. You're smart. You're a very smart guy, and so you're not a nutritionist. You're in dermatology, but you seem to know a lot about a lot of stuff, and you had so much to talk about when it comes to organic food, how much money people spend on organic food, and I was blown away because you and your wife, you could kind of see you guys as kind of hippie, we minimalist or just whatever. I definitely wouldn't put you in a category of processed foods. Fine, man, just consume all you want. So, like, let's just start there. I've heard so many, and I've been one of them. I've heard so many young parents that lose sleep over buying that big old bag of chicken nuggets that it's their go-to every time they don't have time for supper. I think I did that yesterday. We have a big old bag from Costco. Now it says free range and all that sort of thing, but what's the deal there? Like, should we be upset about all the processed food?
Well, I think the real problem is we don't know how to interpret information, and the internet's full of lies that we all believe. That what qualifies me to do this is just in studying medicine, you learn how to interpret information and data based on large numbers of people, based on the sources of the information, not based on testimonials or gut feelings or buzzwords.
Yeah.
So we've been basically sold kind of false security in these buzzwords like natural and organic and non-GMO. We've been lured by Facebook clickbait to believe things that are just completely untrue. And the people who are making these organic products are laughing all the way to the bank, huge money, as they use their organic pesticides that are less tested, that we all eat happily on our organic food, and we feel great about it.
Okay, so the organic food is actually still getting pesticides?
Oh, yeah. So
it's just organic pesticides?
Right.
What's organic pesticides?
So the FDA has certain criteria that you have to meet to label your food organic. Now, that doesn't mean they're not using pesticides. In fact, they're using more pesticides because they have the organic pesticides is a long list of approved organic pesticides. They're not as effective as things like Roundup, and which has a longer track record, more safety data. So they have to use more pesticides that are less tested, but they still meet the organic criteria. So we can't think that means pesticide free. Even the word organic itself, and like the word chemical. Yeah. It's more of gut feeling that these things bring out. It's hard to really define what those things are.
Gosh. All right, so you can buy organic food and basically thinking that you're buying one thing, and it's really not a selling point. So the stuff that they have on the box.
Right.
It's just propaganda, or is it straight up lies, or it's misleading?
Well, it is. So I would say it kind of is propaganda. And it's certainly misleading unless you've really done your reading to figure out what that word means. What organic doesn't mean is that it's any better for you.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There's a lot of, in fact, very, very large studies looking at organic foods, organic produce, organic milk, and showing that there's, in fact, no health benefits. Now, if you think that organic milk tastes better, great, go for it. Pay that $6 for a gallon of milk. I think there's probably a great placebo effect where you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're healthier, and there's some value in that.
Right.
But it's just psychology for the most part. And what it certainly doesn't guarantee is safety, any more than something being natural means that it's better or safer. Uranium's natural, arsenic's natural, poison ivy is all natural. But, rub it on your balls and see what happens.
Right.
Make a salve out of it and put it in your eye and see what happens. So that doesn't equate to increased safety. There are specific things it does mean that are required to put that label on it.
So does your family buy anything organic on purpose because we need to eat organic of this?
So my mom, yes, she is, fully sold on all that stuff. But she's also, a very devout atheist, and we differ in some other beliefs. But we might buy some organic milk if I like the brand and it tastes better, but not because the word organic is on it.
Yeah. So you have 2 sets of carrots. One's organic, one's not. The one that's not is $3 less. You're going with the $3 less?
So I have a confession that even though I know it's a bunch of crap, when I see that organic sticker, I have this gut feeling like, that must be nicer. Oh, I bet it's safer or tastes better or was grown lovingly with more space in the greenhouse. You're swindled. It works on me too. I know it's doesn't mean it's better, but man, it's eyes see so much stuff that works on everybody.
Yeah. So there's like
then I'll buy some Cheetos.
Yeah, there you go. How about let's talk cancer and things like that. Or before we even go there, what if I wake up in the morning and my kids, and we heat up the microwavable pancakes that are frozen in the freezer. Mm-hmm. We heat up the already cooked sausage that it's got the preservatives. It's totally fine. It's been in the freezer as well. And then lunch rolls around. It's a Saturday. We pop in a bunch of Hot Pockets. And then supper, we pop in the oven lasagna. And that's what we do every single day.
Right.
Are our kids in a compromising position because of us and the nutrition?
Yeah. So I know this is unpopular, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I would love to just follow the Facebook internet fads and trends and just be all vegan and organic. But the reality is, what your kids are going to get from you using processed food is they're not going to get listeria. They're not going to get some crazy parasite. They're not going to get some crazy botulinum because of preservatives and pesticides. Yeah. Preservatives and pesticides have saved lives by the 1,000, maybe the million for decades.
Right.
If you want all organic, non-GMO, 100% pesticide and preservative-free food, go to Africa. So I go to Africa every year. I'm going to Uganda in a few months. Everyone there is eating 100% earth-grown, dirt-raised, chemical-free everything, and they're dying by 45. They're getting all intestinal parasites. They're getting just bacteria that we have eliminated, and pests that we've eliminated, parasites we've eliminated. But people just don't appreciate. They don't appreciate that food is now safer. It lasts longer. Because of GMOs, we can use less pesticide. We can get greater yield. We can do less pollution. You can get more food from a smaller piece of land with less water because of things like pesticides and preservatives.
Now, are there any drawbacks to those things? Now, you're obviously making the point that the benefits are
just outweigh the risks. That's why they exist.
Right, but are there risks? Are there risks with pesticides? Are there risks with there preservatives?
With everything. So if you stick with the tried and true tested things like glyphosate or Roundup, decades of testing, decades of cancer testing, incredibly robust safety data. Now, if you look at some new organic pesticide that meets the criteria, but it's only been out for a year and it's not sufficiently tested, maybe we're going to find out it causes some weird virus in your brain to reactivate. We just don't know.
Yeah.
So I'd say, everything has risks. Everything, water and salt in high enough levels can be toxic. Everything has risks. But I just like things where the risks are known. I don't trust some home-cooked brew. If my neighbor's making aspirin in their garage out of bark, I'm not going to take it.
Right.
I'll take some Tylenol that was, scrutinized by the FDA and tested.
Yeah, it's almost like I think you made this point, and when we were having this conversation, it's like we are so safe and so
So safe.
protected that now we have to find something wrong with the safety measures in the first place.
And a lot of it is not even us, the consumer, so much as lies we've been fed by people profiteering from this industry. People selling you products with the label of natural or organic at greatly inflated prices. They're making a killing. If you really want to do something great, buy local maybe, so the food's not transported as far.
Yeah.
But the food I grow in my garden, in my backyard, it's never going to be as safe as what's mass produced in factories.
Gosh.
Because who knows what's in my yard? I mean, the kids might have put something in there. I might have done something stupid. The house before there might have put some paint in there. I don't know what's in that.
Now, have you seen any of the documentaries like Food Inc. and some of these that just pretty much, I mean, the whole point of it is to make you sick to your stomach of the stuff that you're putting into your body. Like, for example, they talked about how the beef that you eat, basically the cows are in such horrible conditions that there's manure all over their body that probably gets in the meat and all that stuff. Like, how about mass production? Like, does that bother you? And what you have to bypass in order to make it work?
Right. I love animals. I mean, I have a rescued pet squirrel in my house right now. But, that sweet little beautiful impala in Africa that right now is in the teeth of a cheetah, it's suffering and it's bleeding. But that's nature. And should I go rescue all the beautiful impala from these mean lions? No. It's an animal. It's not a person, and it doesn't have a soul. I mean, I love dogs and everything too, but they're just animals.
Now, are there adverse effects though from the mass production?
Like, probably. Like crowding can lead to disease states, which could lead to increased need for antibiotics. Ideally, maybe, every cow I eat would be, lovingly raised one by one. Yeah. But it's going to be pretty expensive.
Yeah. How about the big push and all the Pinterest ideas of healthy snacks for your kids? Is there anything wrong with doing the convenient, hey, let's buy one of these big old boxes of cheese crackers and peanut butter on it, and that'll last us for weeks, man. But that's not your organic grapes or your cucumbers with raisins on it. I don't know. But how about quick, fast, easy snacks?
They've come a long way. Like, look at the vegetable squeeze packs. You've got these little applesauce packs that are easy to carry, don't need a spoon, and you get your kids eating spinach and things. I think it's good to eat a variety of different things. Any diet that's based on only a few items is not healthy.
So keto?
So keto, you can get, keto works. It has
it works as far as losing weight.
You'll lose weight. Yeah. I mean, you induce ketosis, you're going to lose weight. Your cholesterol profile improves. I think there's still a little more. We need more information on it, on long-term safety. I don't think we have quite enough. But just calorie restriction works also. It's just harder to do.
Yeah.
And what I really believe in, I think exercise is the key to health. I don't even think it's that important what you eat for most people. Your body takes what you eat and pulls the nutrients out, and you poop out and pee out what it doesn't want, or what it doesn't need. And so people all over the world live in all kind of crazy things. Now, obviously, if you're diabetic or you have cholesterol problems, it matters. Obviously, eating a lot of red meat increases cancer, and certainly sugar is probably the most harmful thing we eat, period. That has been linked to many different cancers.
Even sugar in the raw?
Yeah. So even all natural sugar, and that's the thing that really, I think, has harmed a lot of people. I have patients who are overweight, who are unhealthy, and they, I mentioned that they might want to try some sugar-free Splenda or whatever, and they're like, no, that stuff's bad.
Right.
NutraSweet's the devil. It gives you brain cancer and fries your kidneys. And it's like, well, there's a study in the United Kingdom that was 20 years long, and they tried to find something wrong with NutraSweet, couldn't find one thing it caused, unless you're that rare 1 in a million people with phenylketonuria, which is not you.
Right.
It's like, but because people are afraid of NutraSweet, Then they're afraid of saccharin, which doesn't cause cancer in humans. It causes cancer in rats, and this type of cancer humans can't even get. So you couldn't get it anyway, even if you lived on saccharin.
So there's nothing wrong with Equal, Sweet and Low, and Diet Pepsi.
I would say there's nothing wrong with it, but if you compare Pepsi versus Diet Pepsi, cancer in a can. All that sugar.
Yeah.
It's not healthy for anyone to eat a lot of simple sugar, even though it tastes delicious. So the problem with the fake sugars, it itself is safe. Splenda, stevia, whatever. It's all different kinds. They keep making new ones and putting a green leaf on it, making it look more natural, because the last artificial sweeteners, of course, now evil, is joined the list of 100 things you're not supposed to eat. Makes you all feel guilty. Well, they keep saccharin's bad.
Yeah.
Well, then NutraSweet's bad.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time before, they keep saying that everything's bad for you, right?
Right.
The problem with it is there's this weird thing that that happens when you drink that Diet Coke, when you eat artificial sweeteners, your brain is tricked a little bit into thinking you had sugar.
Yeah.
So even though it's calorie free, it does increase risk of diabetes. Not as much as sugar, but it does.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but it's something we haven't figured out quite yet. But somehow your pancreas secretes insulin, and it does, unfortunately, contribute to diabetes. So I'd say water's way better.
Yeah. So how do you process this transition? When I was in college, we looked at fat grams pretty much.
Right.
And we went after the low fat, no fat. I mean, I would literally buy non-fat hot dogs for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah.
And so now we don't even pay attention to fat grams. I mean, we in general, for the most part, it's carbs.
That's
Like,
right. That's
calm
right.
down with all the bread and everything.
Yeah.
Are we right now and we were wrong then?
We were wrong then, and we may be wrong now. So nutrition is still an evolving science. Anyone who claims that they have, solved it, they know all the answers. We learn a little bit each decade. The whole low fat thing was certainly wrong. I think I'm pretty convinced that simple sugars in large amounts bad for you. But I mean, I can't say in 10 years we're not going to find out some more things, some more surprises. I think nutrition's hard because humans are hard to study over very long periods of time, and we eat a lot of different foods. You can't just say, okay, these 1,000 humans eat only these foods the rest of your life, and these 1,000 eat only these foods. No one's going to do it.
Yeah.
We like to eat what we want to eat. We're going to do a diet for a time, but you can't do a diet for 12 months and then blame the next 20 years of cancers on those 12 months.
Right.
So it's hard to know. Nutrition's hard to know.
Yeah. All right. So how about let's pick on one restaurant, McDonald's. So they are basically a business that specializes in mass production of food,
right?
And it tasting really good,
right?
We hear all the time, stop with the fast food, but the single mother that's working a couple of jobs and trying to pick up the kids and take them to basketball practice and gymnastics and all this stuff as well, it's very convenient to go by the drive-thru. And
right.
I mean, we'll leave Chick-fil-A out for a second, but McDonald's, do they deserve the bad reputation that they have?
So McDonald's is so much safer than the food our grandparents had. Everything, it's tested. The meat is cooked at the right temperature. Everything is screened and washed and handled with gloves, sanitized, sterilized. So it's very safe. Problem with McDonald's and American food is it's so good, we overeat it. So I'll give you an example. So I go to Vietnam every couple years, and one trip we had a lady go with us that was brought over by a GI when she was like 18. She hadn't been to Vietnam in 30 years or so, and she was reunited with her whole family. We took this picture of her and all her brothers, sisters, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody. And I have this picture of 15 beanpole skinny Vietnamese people and one big round butterball in the middle that outweighs them all by double.
Yeah.
This is the same genetics. This is her family. What happened?
Yeah.
Brought to America, all this good food, it's just the amount. Now, if you eat a little bit of McDonald's, you can do great. You can be super healthy. There was a Yale professor several years ago that did, just for himself as an example, he was overweight, he was out of shape, his cholesterol was bad, his heart was at risk of heart attack. For 6 months, he lived on Twinkies, Ho-Hos, Sweet 16 donuts.
Oh my gosh.
Just that. And he took a vitamin once a week. And he lost 30 pounds. He improved his cholesterol. He improved his EKG, all of his heart
because
indexes.
He was eating in moderation?
Because he limited his calories to less than 2,000 calories a day. He lost a ton of weight. He got healthy. And it was all because just the amount he eats. So the problem is the amount. And people like to say, oh,
wait a second.
You know,
he wasn't getting greens in?
No greens, no veggies, no kale, no lean chicken, you know, none of that stuff. And he lost weight, all of his numbers, every health index his doctor measured improved.
So do we need that stuff? Do we need greens?
It's good, but you know that there's just not much in it. There's some fiber and some vitamins. But if you pop a vitamin pill and eat some cardboard and, you know, a quarter of a cheeseburger,
right,
you're probably good. If you get exercise.
Right.
I mean, exercise matters. Exercise matters for your brain, your body, cancer, everything. And obviously red meat and sugar and some things are only good in moderation.
Yeah.
The other lie, there's a second lie in there, though, the one that really grates me, is people thinking that poor people are fat because fast food is cheap. It's a big lie. It's a big fat lie. And now it's true that the less money you make in America, the fatter you are.
Yeah.
The more obese you are, the bigger, you know, this health burden you are and have. And then the more money you make, the skinnier you are, right? So, and it's not that, well, what it says, oh, the poor people, they can't afford the vegetables, they can't afford the healthy food. BS, man. That is not the problem. The problem is they're overeating. So they can go to Taco Bell, they can go to Wendy's, they can get the 99-cent menu. The problem is they eat 2-3 times as much food as they need to.
Yeah.
If they would actually spend less money on food, and buy that junk food, buy ramen noodles, whatever, and eat less of it and way less, they would be so much healthier.
So calories,
overeating,
calories in moderation.
All that matters is calories for weight.
Don't eat too much red meat.
Yeah.
Avoid as much sugar as you possibly can.
Right.
And exercise.
Yeah. And I mean, and fiber helps. Fiber helps you not eat as much, and you know the whole water thing's a lie. The whole 7 glasses of water a day, it's a lie. It's a big fat lie.
You don't need water?
You don't need 7 glasses of water a day. It doesn't help your skin. It doesn't help anything. Americans are very massively overhydrated people. Snopes it. You know, look at any resource. You can chase down where that rumor came from. Actually, the whole you don't need 7 or 8 glasses of water. How
much do you need?
You know, probably a few, 3 if your urine's dark, or if you're sweaty. Now, if you're working out like a beast, you know, and I drink water all day just because I like to.
Right.
I'm hooked on it.
Yeah.
I'm a spoiled American.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you need to have clear urine? I've heard that if your urine is yellow, you're not drinking enough water.
It's nice to have clear urine. You know, there's people in Nicaragua that are so dehydrated that they have kidney failure from, you know, drinking 1 cup of water a day and working in the banana plantations for 12 hours.
Yeah.
But that's because culturally they're afraid of drinking water when they're hot because of some myths.
Yeah.
But a couple glasses should be fine. If you're working in an office, indoors and air conditioning, you don't need all that water.
Yeah. That's some crazy stuff. So we as a society, I mean, I would say for the most part, there are mass lies that we have all bought into, and other people are profiting from it.
It's huge profits.
I mean, because these are the things that you and I have just talked about are things that people just assume. Oh, of course, you need lots of water, at least
alkaline
7 cups.
Water, alkaline diet. Yeah.
Gosh. All right. Well, hopefully this one really made you think. Michael Overcash, folks. Thank you, sir.